What's up? What's up? I'm here.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away.
What's up, guys?
This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Oh, shit. Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is a Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Trump met with Putin.
Sharonk 512 just resubscribed for 20 months.
Thank you for the resubscription. 20 months. That's a long time. Thank you. Trump met with Putin. He kind of came out of it with his, it looked like his tail tucked between his legs. I don't know. He let Putin speak first. He canceled and left early. He didn't go to the lunch. Putin refused to speak in English, which is, you know, a lot of times when you go to like a host nation, if you speak their language, which he does, he speaks English well. You would speak English. Usually Trump would speak first because he's the host nation. Nothing fucking changed. Trump's like, we don't have a plan, but we got concepts of a plan. I swear, like we all know that everything Trump touches, he like cheats at, right? And everything he talks about, he artificially inflates. He may be the worst negotiator ever. Like he complains, he gets on these, he gets a wild hair and gets all over Truth Social and talks about how mad he is at Putin and how he doesn't understand how they can have such a good conversation that while Putin's shooting missiles into Kiev and how it's got to stop and 10 days for a ceasefire. And then we moved away from that. And he was headed into this talking a big game about like, well, we're either going to get close to a deal or sanctions are coming in. Then they almost immediately ask him about sanctions. He's like, no, I don't think we need that now. But you didn't reach a deal. You didn't get close to a deal. Nothing. Like, Vladimir Putin is literally walking a dog. He is walking a dog. And Trump is too goddamn dumb. All Putin had to do was come in and repeat the stuff that Trump wants to hear, that Trump's been saying himself. So apparently he told Trump, like, hey, you know, a year ago your country was dead, but now it's the hottest country. I wonder where he got that idea from. I wonder where he came up with that. So immediately Trump fucking loves that, right? He tells Trump and the reporters, like, I want to confirm that Russia did not meddle in the 2020 election, 2016 election, whatever, and we didn't help Trump win. There was no collusion. And of course Trump loves that. And then he can get away with anything he fucking wants. I personally don't like Trump. I don't like his beliefs. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like the way he riles up his audience. But one thing, I want him to be good for the country. I want him to be a good negotiator, especially when it's with someone like Russia. It's one thing if like we don't have good negotiations with like one of our closest allies, right? Because stuff's still going to meld, stuff's still going to do its thing. Trade's still going to happen. People, we're not going to go to war with them. But to him to be fucking walked down the street by Putin and be too dumb to even know it. It's just crazy. Crazy. I wonder if, hold on just a second. Red carpet, yeah, red carpet was crazy, like a dictator, murderer, piece of shit, and they roll out a literal red carpet for him. And now Putin gets to go back to Russia and say, look, well, they know like we illegally invaded Ukraine, we've committed war crimes, we're raping and pillaging this country, we're doing all these things America said it wouldn't stand for, and look how they receive me, look how they treat me. Look who I am. Like, it bothers me so much that Trump can't even stand up to put. God damn, dude. What does he do? Tariffs fuck everything up. Everything he touches is a fuck up. Trump looks so fucking tired, like, oh my God. After that Alaska cuck session or whatever. Unbelievable. Thank you very much. That was from Autumn. I just now saw that when I refreshed. I guess I understand that people voting for him or voting for like a mentality or like a mental image they have of him. But holy fuck, when you just try to take that into context and apply it to anything he fucking does, like they'll say, oh, he's a businessman. He's got all these successful businesses and bankruptcies don't matter because businesses do bankruptcies all the time. And he makes deals and he's not afraid to back down to other people. He'll stand up for America. Where is this? I understand you think that, but where is this actually happening?
President of the United States of America and the President of the Russian Federation.
And for some reason, he cut it short, like they were supposed to have lunch together or whatever. The negotiations were short and the after whatever was short. They're supposed to have lunch and continue to speak. So, like, the time they blocked off for the negotiations ended early. And they were supposed to do something after that. That was a lunch where they continued to speak or whatever. They cut that off early as well. Almost even Putin was like, even Putin was waiting for Trump to talk. Even Putin, because he's met with world leaders in Trump's home country, even Putin was waiting for Trump to talk. And like twice, Trump is like, it's so weird that he spoke first here. And none of the reporters who have seen meetings like this millions of times had their fucking earpieces in because they were expecting Trump to speak first. So they're all like scrambling to get their earpieces in. Everybody's fucking confused.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, our negotiations have been held in a constructive atmosphere of mutual respect.
Oh, the other thing that he did to suck Trump's dick was like, I can confirm I wouldn't have invaded Ukraine had Trump been president. Oh, really? Why? Which is insane because all the stuff that went on in Luhansk and those areas, like what they call the Civil War, was actually Putin putting the Wagner Group into Ukraine to pretend to be Ukrainian citizens and causing an uprising there. So he would later have a reason to say, "Oh, we've got to go save our fellow Russians over here." That's the reason everything kicked off in that area, right? And that was all done under Trump.
We have very thorough negotiations that were quite useful. I would like to thank once again my American counterpart for the proposal to travel out here to Alaska. It only makes sense that we've met here because our countries, though separated by the oceans, are close neighbors. So when we've met, when I came out of the plane and I've said, "Good afternoon, dear neighbor."
I think sometimes we all died of COVID in 2020. And this is my own personal purgatory. I don't know.
Very good to see you in good health and to see you alive. I think that is very neighborly. And I think that's some kind words that we can say to each other. We're separated by the Strait of Bering, though there are 2 islands only between the Russian island and the U.S. island. They're only 4 kilometers apart. We're close neighbors, and it's a fact. It's also important that Alaska has to do with our common heritage, common history between Russia and the U.S., and many positive events have to do with that territory. Still, there is tremendous cultural heritage back from the Russian America. For example, Orthodox churches and a lot of more than 700 geographical names of Russian origin. During the Second World War, it was here in Alaska that was the origin of the legendary air bridge for the supply of military aircraft and other equipment under the Lend-Lease program. It was a dangerous and treacherous route over the vast emptiness.
By the way, when Trump talks about, I saw an image today. I'd like to find it. When Trump talks about Ukraine's going to have to give up some land, oh, we're going to get some land. We're going to get them the best land, but they're going to have to give up some land. When he talks about like percentage-wise of their country, like if that was America, we're talking about giving up way more, like half of fucking America. Okay, there's a comparative map. I'll see if I can find it. I saw it on a news article. But there's a comparative map. It's like fucking insane what he's proposing they give up.
Of ice. However, the pilots of both countries did everything to bring closer the victory. They risked their lives and they gave it all for the common victory. I was just in the city of Magadan in Russia, and there is a memorial there dedicated to the Russian and the U.S. pilots. And there are 2 flags, the U.S. flag and the Russian flag. And I know that here as well, there is such a memorial. There is a military burial place several kilometers away from here. The Soviet pilots that buried there who died during that dangerous mission. We're thankful to the citizens and the government of the U.S. for carefully taking care of their memory. I think that's very worthy and noble. Well,
here's one of them. So if we're talking about giving up land, right, this would be the same percentage of America. This is the whole eastern seaboard and a good portion of the Gulf. That's what we're asking them, and they did nothing, right? They were just minding their own fucking business, and Russia invaded them. Could you imagine someone invading the United States? Let's say Mexico invaded the United States. Okay, this is percentage-wise, by the way, not size, because all of Ukraine is like the breadbasket in the U.S., but imagine Mexico invades the United States and Trump's like, I'm going to work out a deal with them. We didn't do anything, right? Just try to defend the United States. Trump's like, I'm going to work out a deal with them. And we lose the whole fucking eastern seaboard to Mexico. And that's the deal. Do you think we would be happy with that? Mexico would, I'm sure.
Always remember other historical examples when our countries defeated common enemies together in the spirit of battle camaraderie and allyship that supported each other and facilitated each other. I'm sure that this heritage will help us rebuild and foster mutually beneficial and equal ties at this new stage, even during the hardest conditions. It is known that there have been no summits between Russia and the U.S. for 4 years, and that's a long time. This time was very hard for bilateral relations, and let's be frank, they have fallen to the lowest point since the Cold War. I think that's not benefiting our countries and the world as a whole. It is apparent that sooner or later we had to amend the situation to move on from the confrontation to dialogue. And in this case, a personal meeting between the heads of state has been long overdue. Naturally, under the condition of serious and painstaking work, and this work has been done in general. Me and President Trump have very good direct contact. We've spoken multiple times. We spoke frankly on the phone. And Special Envoy of the President, Mr. Witkoff, traveled out to Russia several times. Our advisors and heads of foreign
He would probably give him Alaska if he had the power to.
ministries kept in touch all the time. And you know fully well that one of the central issues was the situation around Ukraine. We see this drive of the administration and President Trump personally to help facilitate the resolution of the Ukrainian conflict. And his strive to get to the crux of the matter, to understand this history, is precious. As I've said, the situation in Ukraine has to do with fundamental threats to our security. Moreover, we've always considered the Ukrainian nation, and I've said it multiple times, a brotherly nation. However strange it may sound in these conditions, we have the same roots, and everything that's happening is a tragedy for us and terrible wound. Therefore, the country is sincerely interested in putting an end to it. At the same time, we're convinced that in order to make the settlement lasting and long-term, we need to eliminate all the primary roots, the primary causes of that conflict. And we've said it multiple times, to consider all legitimate concerns of Russia and to reinstate a just balance of security in Europe and in the world on the whole. And I agree with President Trump, as he has said today, that naturally the security of Ukraine should be ensured as well. Naturally, we are prepared to work on that. I would like to hope that the agreement that we've reached together will help us bring closer that goal and will pave the path towards peace in Ukraine. We expect that Kiev and European capitals will perceive that constructively and that they won't throw a wrench in the works. They will not make any attempts to use some backroom dealings to conduct provocations to torpedo the nascent progress. Incidentally, when the new administration came to power, bilateral trade started to grow. It's still very symbolic. Still, we have a growth of 20%. As I've said, we have a lot of dimensions for joint work. It is clear that the U.S. and Russian investment and business cooperation has tremendous potential. Russia and the U.S. can offer each other so much in trade, digital, high-tech, and in space exploration. We see that Arctic cooperation is also very possible. And our international context, for example, between the Far East of Russia and the West Coast of the U.S. Overall, it's very important for our countries to turn the page, to go back to cooperation. It is symbolic that not far away from here, at the border between Russia and the U.S., there was a so-called international date line. I think you can step over, literally, from yesterday into tomorrow. And I hope that we'll succeed in that in political sphere. I would like to thank President Trump for our joint work, for the well-wishing and trustworthy tone of our conversation. It's important that both sides are result-oriented, and we see that the President of the U.S. has a very clear idea of what he would like to achieve. He sincerely cares about prosperity of his nation. Still, he understands that Russia has its own national interests. I expect that today's agreements will be the starting point, not only for the solution of the Ukrainian issue, but also will help us bring back business-like and pragmatic relations between Russia and the U.S. And in the end, I would like to add one more thing. I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then, that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that
He probably would have figured out just a way to give them parts of Ukraine.
it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, businesslike, and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. That was very profound, and I will say that I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up
No deal till there's a deal.
NATO in a little while. I will call up
How does he look so fucking tired, dude?
the various people that I think are appropriate.
They getting a push-up contest?
I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them. They're going to have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott and John Radcliffe. Thank you very much. But we have some of our really great leaders. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We also have some tremendous Russian business representatives here, and I think, you know, everybody wants to deal with us. We've become the hottest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time, and we look forward to that. We look forward to dealing. We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. I've always had a fantastic relationship with President Putin, with Vladimir. We had many tough meetings, good meetings. We were interfered with by the Russia hoax. That made it a little bit tougher to deal with, but he understood it. I think he's probably seen things like that during the course of his career. He's seen it all. But we had to put up with the Russia hoax. He knew it was a hoax, and I knew it was a hoax. But what was done was very criminal. But it made it harder for.
Absolutely not a hoax. Never been a hoax. All the ties to Russia. So many fucking indictments. Conviction after conviction. Not a hoax.
For us to deal as a country in terms of the business and all of the things that we'd like to have dealt with. But we'll have a good chance when this is over. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there, but we have a very good chance of getting there. I would like to thank President Putin and his entire team, whose faces, who I know in many cases, otherwise, other than that, whose faces I get to see all the time in the newspapers. You're almost as famous as the boss. But especially this one right over here. But we had some good meetings over the years, right? Good, productive meetings over the years, and we hope to have that in the future. But let's do the most productive one right now. We're going to stop really 5, 6, 7,000, thousands of people a week from being killed, and President Putin wants to see that as much as I do. So, again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all. Thank you.
That was it. That's what we got from the press conference. There's no deal till there's a deal. We're going to watch some of these on Putin. I know he's got them broke up into a bunch. We're going to watch some of them.
We have some major updates coming out of today's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump. Both men have officially landed in Alaska, and they spent a while on the tarmac. Putin was taxiing around while Trump was sitting stationary in his plane. Moments ago, both men got out, but you already see the power plays that are happening. Let me play for you this clip of Donald Trump exiting Air Force One, and then moments later, Putin very intentionally leaves, making Trump leave first. Let me play this clip, then I'll break down the new update of Trump's one-on-one meeting with Putin getting canceled. Make sure you drop a like on the video, and we're very close to 1.5 million subscribers, so double check to make sure you're subscribed below.
Plane on the left side of your screen, Air Force One on the right. But it is a diplomatic thing, a diplomatic game of brinksmanship or gamesmanship as to who waits for who.
And here's the answer.
And
Donald Trump.
There is President Trump. Donald Trump, President Trump, in getting off of Air Force One right now, coming down the stairs. Anderson, over to you.
The president coming down first. It has been a question of who would actually emerge from the aircraft first. As we watch this, Ambassador Bolton, you were involved in you were there for the Helsinki summit. It was a question there too of how it would be arranged, correct?
Well, who would show up first? Putin. But here, this is the United States. Donald Trump is the host. Of course, he's got to go out first to greet his guest, who is coming down the steps now.
The president's Air Force One arrived quite a while ago. It's been sitting.
And there we have it. A war criminal just stepped on a red carpet in the United States.
We rolled it out for him.
So you know, they literally rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin here. Zelensky, who got invaded, who has struggled for years to make sure his country is still alive, has been fighting on the front lines, comes to get yelled at by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin has the red carpet rolled out for him because Donald Trump has...
Look at the way he treats. Yeah, that's a good... I had the difference in Putin and Zelensky.
A narcissistic fixation on people that are more powerful than him. Let's read this tweet from Caitlin Collins, who has been doing amazing on-the-ground reporting over in Alaska. She says, news, a White House official confirms Trump's one-on-one with Putin is no longer happening. Trump chickens out one more time. Now, I do want to give the counter argument. Even though Trump is showing weakness throughout this whole meeting, it may be good that he's not doing a one-on-one meeting with Putin. Putin would take advantage of him in the worst way possible.
So badly.
By running laps around him.
So badly.
And using his dumbass to gain intelligence. It might be good to have some sort of guardrails around Donald Trump. The people who will be joining Donald Trump for the 3-on-3 rather than the 1-on-1 will be Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is at least, he's not a good dude.
Could we get lucky enough that he's dying and that's why he's so... That's why he's so like low energy and shit.
But he's not completely effing insane. It's not clear who will join Putin from the Russian side, but we now have more updates on the Russian envoy. We'll get there in 1 second. For the expanded bilateral meeting and working lunch that will happen after.
I think J.D. Vance has even worse ideas than Donald Trump, believe it or not. But I also think that J.D. Vance is so ambitious and would push so hard that he would get a lot more pushback with some of the crazier shit that he believes.
Trump will be joined by Secretary Marco Rubio, Secretary Pete Hegseth, Secretary Scott Bessent, Secretary Howard Lutnick, Special Envoy Witkoff, and Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, per a White House official. We have more reporting from Caitlin Collins that on his way to Anchorage, Trump said this of Putin, and this is where he really plays his hand. He says, quote, I notice he's bringing a lot of business people from Russia, and that's good. I like that because they want to do business, but they're not doing business until we get the war settled. You shouldn't even have had the meeting until the war was settled. You should not have had a meeting or even a phone call with Putin until there is a ceasefire, but Trump doesn't understand that, so he got tricked into having this meeting, which is not really an act of diplomacy. It is an act of humiliation. But when Donald Trump admits right there that Vladimir Putin is bringing a lot of business people and that makes him happy, that he likes that, it's because Putin intentionally did that. He is trying to schmooze Donald Trump and manipulate him by any means by bringing business people, using those business people to try to do a wealth transfer to Donald Trump, and then using that wealth transfer to cover up the fact that Putin wants all of Ukraine, more of Eastern Europe, and probably some minerals from Alaska. I wouldn't be surprised if this were a one-on-one meeting. It's not. But if it were a one-on-one, Trump probably would have left with like a quarter of the United States sold to Putin. So it might be a good thing, if we want to look on the bright side, that 3-on-3 are meeting rather than one-on-one, but the meeting shouldn't have happened in the first place. Caitlin Collins then reports inside the room for the scheduled joint press conference. This is not where they're going to meet behind closed doors for the 3-on-3, but this is where the joint press conference is going to happen. You may remember that one happened in Helsinki back in 2017, I'd say. When the Helsinki meeting happened, Donald Trump took this up. side of Russian intelligence over U.S. FBI intelligence as it pertains to the emails. Absolute absurdity. Here, Aaron Rupar posts Putin and Trump trying to figure out who's down the steps slow first. And it's a funny meme. That is basically what they were doing. Both of their planes were sitting there on the tarmac. And it's interesting. Donald Trump kind of waddles down the steps slowly. And it seems like Putin maybe intentionally kind of runs down the steps. I might be making this up, but Putin always is about these small shows of strength. So he kind of like goes down the steps as fast as he possibly can. That's kind of unusually fast.
You got to remember, like, he's a spook, right? Like, he's a spy. He's a secret agent. That's his background.
Maybe not, but this dude is not far behind Trump in age. I think he wants to show that he has physical stamina when Trump does not. Either way, as it pertains to the meeting that is coming up within a few hours, we'll be covering it relentlessly, and Trump does not seem to have a coherent strategy beyond just hoping that Putin likes him or offering some sort of mineral deal with Ukraine, or even worse, Alaska. If the first meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin is any signal of what's to come, then I think it's not going to be good for the United States. Whatever's said behind closed doors will be detrimental, and the pressure that happens after will likely be even worse. Who knows whose side Trump's going to take? Who knows what Putin will manipulate Trump into taking on that stage? Putin will say something that will guide Trump to probably, expose American intelligence, or say something that will throw a lot of people under the bus. So I want to continue pushing this, continue covering this. Donald Trump is very clearly obsessed with Putin from a narcissistic standpoint. So he thinks if I roll out the red carpet, if I treat my buddy well, then maybe he'll end the war. But it's not that simple. Putin is not motivated by friendliness or even money or even greed. He is a greedy person, but when it comes to this war, he is not motivated by greed. He is motivated by territorial expansion, and this is the fundamental problem with the meeting that is about to occur. One side understands the other. Only one side understands the other side. Vladimir Putin understands all of Trump's motivations. Vladimir Putin is a trained KGB agent who knows how to manipulate. He understands that Trump is motivated by ego and greed, and he's uniquely transactional. That's why he brought business leaders from his own country. Quote, I notice he's bringing a lot of business people from Russia, and that's good. I like that because they want to do business, said Trump. A disgusting quote that completely misses the point. On the other hand, Trump doesn't seem to understand Putin. Like, on a psychological level, he doesn't understand the profile that exists in Putin's head. Putin is not motivated by the same type of fame that Trump is. Putin doesn't really care about having his name in the lights. He wants Russia to have a long-lasting empire, and that means throwing men in the meat grinder, having a war that bleeds the economy and hurts his own popularity at times. He doesn't care. He just wants to win. So I just want to make sure we're spreading the truth at a time when the administration in a top-down way is spreading lies. So if you want to spread the truth, like this video, spam some blue hearts in the comments and share it around. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
All right, we got a couple more because there's a couple other things that I want to see from these videos.
The photo
I can't remember which one it is. We'll watch most of them.
Across the internet. It was taken only moments ago, right before Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin deplaned and shook hands. The reason this is going viral in Ukrainian circles, in European circles, and mainly just pro-democracy circles across the internet is because it is the moment the United States became a delegitimate laughingstock. I mean, you can make the argument that it became a laughingstock 7 months ago when Trump took office again. I would not argue against that. But my point is, this photo right here lost us so much legitimacy. And let me tell you exactly what it is about it. First of all, the White House official Twitter account posted not long ago, "Pursuing peace." That's the caption they used with a photo of Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin standing in front of a backdrop that says "Pursuing peace." I responded and said, Putin is actively slaughtering civilians and children. He has invaded Ukraine multiple times. What a despicable post coming from the White House Twitter account. This doesn't legitimize Putin, it delegitimizes us. And that will be the through line as I make this video. The moment that Putin got off of the plane, Donald Trump was standing there clapping like an idiotic child. Like, oh, I can't wait to see my buddy Vladimir.
Ah, damn.
Then Putin walks up. They shake hands, they greet, they kiss each other on the cheek. No, they don't kiss each other, but they might as well have with the way that this is going. They immediately begin going back and forth, and this brings me on to the photo that I really clapping like an idiotic child. Like, oh, I can't wait to see my buddy Vladimir Putin. Then Putin walks up. They shake hands, they greet.
He does pull him in.
On the cheek. No, they don't kiss each other, but they might as well have with the way that this is going.
He did pull him in.
Begin going back and forth, and this brings me on to the photo that I really want.
It is embarrassing, very embarrassing.
For all the wrong reasons. See, Donald Trump's view of foreign policy is so infantile that he thinks Putin is just like him. Trump genuinely believes that Putin is just as petty and narcissistic as Trump is. And he's sort of right. Putin is a narcissist, but he's also smarter. So Trump thinks that if he just treats Putin like a king, if he literally, not even figuratively, if he literally rolls out a red carpet, maybe he'll give me what I want. It is toddler level negotiation. Like, Trump's thought process is maybe if I'm nice enough to him, he'll give me what I want. I was going to say it's pathetic, but it's not even pathetic. It's dangerous, and it's the same type of groveling that makes America weak, a joke, and terrible. So instead of confronting a dictator who has waged an illegal war on their smaller neighbor who is our ally, instead of standing on the side of actual freedom, Donald Trump staged a photo op. And in this photo right here, this is so disgusting. This is a traitorous action from Donald Trump. You see multiple U.S. soldiers, I believe I see 3 right there, on their knees, rolling out the red carpet for war.
That's awful, dude. That's awful.
Nothing against these soldiers are just following command. Marco Rubio, Steve Witkoff, all of these people have failed us. They are genuinely traitors for rolling out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin. And to continue, Scott Jennings from CNN posted this clip of, fighter jets flying over Putin and Trump as they walk down the red carpet. And conservatives are trying to act like this was some badass moment to scare Putin. but it wasn't. They're walking down the red carpet. Putin shouldn't even be here. They're sitting there laughing in the Beast, which is the car that the president owns, right there. They're sitting there laughing together. There's no badass moment here, but Scott Jennings says, I hope he brought some backup pants, talking about Putin. I said, the way Putin is smiling, they'll both need backup pants. Right here, we see the layout before the planes landed, and right here, we see the moment that Donald Trump got off of Air Force One, followed by Putin 1 minute later. So again, this is not diplomacy whatsoever. It's actually quite the opposite. I've been arguing with people all day online. Someone named Luke49ers6 said on Twitter, R-worded liberals like this dumbass hate seeing what a real president is capable of, trying to have diplomacy and a win, leading to world peace. And I said, you're an idiot and barely an American. This is not diplomacy. You clapped Trump on when he said he could end the war on day one. Now, 7 months later, Putin has tricked him repeatedly, killed more children, and brainless idiots like you still clap when Trump rolls out the red carpet. For some breaking news updates from CNN, we have Ukrainian lawmakers coming out saying you better not concede any land, Donald Trump, while we aren't there. Trump has talked about land swaps. He's floated the idea, but he's also said that he may not do it if Ukraine isn't involved. He should have just used what leverage he had available to get Ukraine in this meeting. But this reads, it's been more than an hour since the Trump-Putin meeting began. U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have been in a meeting along with their respective delegations for more than an hour now. This matters because earlier this week, Trump said he would know within a couple of minutes if Putin was actually interested in pursuing peace. He also said if the summit goes poorly, he would walk. Quote, I may leave and say good luck, and that'll be the end. I may say this is not going to be settled. The jets seen on the Alaskan tarmac are the same type that is routinely intercepting Russian aircraft. The 4 F-22 Raptors lined up alongside the red carpet are jets that routinely intercept Russian aircraft operating off the coast of Alaska. But I don't view this as a show of strength. This is weakness, allowing Putin to just walk through these. There was a moment when Obama bowed slightly to the Prince of Saudi Arabia back in, I don't even know, his first term, and the world blew up. At least Republicans in America blew up.
Oh yeah, red carpets for Putin,
There are
for sure.
photos of Obama staring Putin down, not smiling or laughing, but staring him down. And that is how real leadership works. That is real diplomacy. This is more like servitude, and it's proof that Trump is not just unfit to defend American values. He's actively undermining American values, as he has been for the past 10 years. This is a president who doesn't honor the Constitution or international law or the strength that America shows. He honors himself. His moral code is what can get me more money and more fame long term. And this president who honors Vladimir Putin is a president who dishonors every soldier, every ally, every innocent victim standing in the way of Putin's tyranny. And again, I just want to go back to this photo. This insane photo of a Russian jet on U.S. soil with U.S. troops rolling out the red carpet for a war criminal. I'm telling you, this just set America back greatly on the global stage. Just zoom out for 1 second. Over the past 7 months, Donald Trump has declared a trade war, not on one country, not on 100 countries, not on one industry or 5 industries, but on the entire globe, except for Russia and North Korea. After Donald Trump starts this trade war, he just postures towards the entire globe and yanks them around with a will I won't I tariff game, therefore alienating our closest allies, tariffing Canada, tariffing the EU, tariffing Mexico, and every single country that we already had trade deals with. The reason that relates to this is because he's already pushing away allies. Now we're even more of a laughingstock. We're rolling out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin. We're bullying Zelensky while being so cordial to Putin and Kim Jong-un that we legitimize them. It reminds me of the Helsinki meeting back in Trump's first term when he actually took the side of Russian intelligence over our own FBI's intelligence just to prove a point. Essentially, there was an argument that Russia, not just an argument, there's proof that Russia was meddling in the 2016 election, but Trump refused to accept that. Our own FBI's data, because that means he was an illegitimate president during the first term, because Russia did help him a lot. So as Trump takes these meetings with Kim Jong-un, with Vladimir Putin, with other people, I just want you to know that there is still a community that stands up for American values, and that's this community right here. We'll continue to push relentlessly and tirelessly every single day. We just need your help. All I need you to do is make sure you drop a like on the video, double check to make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mockler channel so we can hit 1.5 million subscribers.
Then they release like this behind the scene footage in Russia, of course. I do not like seeing the soldiers on their knees in front of fucking Putin's plane putting down red carpet. Like, you could have picked anybody to do that. You got fucking soldiers in uniform.
All right, I got to show you all this video of Donald Trump.
Right. They were fighting while this meeting was going on. People were dying and being killed while this meeting was going on. To have any in-person meeting, there should have been a ceasefire in place. Even if Putin, as soon as he left, was like, fuck it, ceasefire's off, fine. But the fact that you're meeting with the United States president and they're still fighting is fucking wild that you would even do that. You should have said, contingent upon this meeting, there has to be a ceasefire. I don't care if it's, even if it's 24 hours, there has to be a ceasefire when we meet.
Trump and Vladimir Putin talking directly after their very odd
I'm from Northeast Tennessee.
Disastrous
by way of Alberta, Canada.
Press conference yesterday. Now, this video was intentionally leaked to the Russian public by Russian state media to try to paint a very intentional picture, a picture that shows total victory for Vladimir Putin and total defeat for Donald Trump. And listen, as an American who wants America to succeed, The sad reality is that's not far from the truth. Donald Trump walked away from this meeting completely empty-handed. Zero concessions, zero progress. We're back to square one, and all we did was legitimize Putin. Meanwhile, Putin walked away with videos of Trump clapping him. Videos of him walking down the red carpet, being welcome in America. He can now go back to his country and say, listen, we were able to both invade countries, break international law, and still be welcome back in the United States and build business relationships. So it is a massive win for Putin. Not to mention the fact that he manipulated Trump during this meeting. We now have a bunch of clips of Trump after saying, oh, Putin told me that the country was dead a year ago and now it's alive, which is the same exact wording that Trump has been using for the past 2 years. So Putin came in and just mirrored Trump's.
By the way, on that game I've been playing, Kingdom Come Deliverance, I did beat it. But I've been watching some other videos, and I watched a guy make like a diorama. He make like a model of the castle, the castle that we're in, that was in the first map, and that's a real place. A lot of the places in it are a real place, and the storyline about the king putting his brother, locking him away, all that stuff's real.
Language back at him, and Trump was so incredibly flattered that he went on Fox News and aired it to the American masses. It's a sick propaganda pipeline, and honestly, that's why we exist. We exist to disrupt that pipeline, to punch back against the news. I got this comment from a Trump supporter one time. It was like, can this kid get off my feed? Where's my Fox News? And they tried to tag YouTube, like, YouTube, where's my Fox News? Nope, we are the news now. We are the truth. So make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mockler feed below. And let's just talk about the immediate aftermath. Then we'll talk a little bit about this clip that was released by Kremlin.ru. So right after this meeting happened, everyone was shocked. Fox News hosts were shocked. It was very odd how they took zero questions. I have been trying not to call it a press conference because it's not. I don't even know what to call it. It's in some weird gray area that doesn't exist. But Governor Gavin Newsom's press office immediately released a tweet that was so brilliant, it had Fox News pissed off. So Fox News read Governor Newsom's tweet on air and said, this is so unhinged. Who the hell would ever post something like this? Who tweets like this? And let me read you the tweet because he's just making fun of Donald Trump. And this is the official press office account for Governor Newsom. It reads, Trump just fled the podium with Putin. No questions, nothing. Total low energy. The man looked like he just eaten 3 buckets of KFC with Vlad. Is he afraid the press will ask about me, America's favorite governor? And the fact I stole the cameras this week with the maps. Many people are saying he begged Putin to hold his hands tiny on the way out. Admit it, Donnie J. You're terrified because this was the worst week of your life because of me. Gavin C. Newsom. Quote, the maps will end your presidency, retake Congress for the people, and expose your rigged little game. My perfect maps are more beautiful than anything in Trump Tower, which many say smells weird. At Stephen Chung, explain this disaster. Enjoy your flight home. Stephen Chung is one of Donald Trump's communications directors, and he was pissed last night. He responded to Fox News reporter Jackie Heinrich. You know, I'm sure you've seen this clip. I made a video about this Fox News reporter saying, that was weird. That was very weird. Stephen Chung goes, total fake news. Then Fox News jumps in and is forced to respond to Newsom, but notice how they call this style of rhetoric weird.
Guarantees that's just the bottom line in all of this. Gavin Newsom, meantime, posting this on X, Liz, using all capitals, of course, trying to mock Trump, use Trump style. He's been doing this for a while now. He says, quoting, Trump just fled the podium with Putin. No questions, nothing. Total low energy. The man looked like he'd just eaten 3 buckets of KFC with Vlad.
Looked like he was fucking dying, dude.
You're terrified because this was the worst week of your life because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. I think he's trying to be funny. I don't know what he's trying to do, but it comes across as childish. And you're the governor of the biggest state in the union. What are you doing?
Honestly, I feel like he's trying so hard to be Trump, but he's coming off like Kanye West. He seems absolutely insane.
It does not seem insane. How are they saying this with no shred of irony? He called it childish. She called it insane. But he's mocking, not just mocking, he's mirroring Trump's rhetoric perfectly. I agree, though. If you are in a huge position of power and you're making posts like this, maybe you should be looked at a little bit. And I'm referring to Donald Trump here, who has been making posts like this for the past 10 years. Isn't it hilarious seeing Fox News then drown in their own hypocrisy when you kind of like flip it back at them? All right, now let's check out this. The Kremlin leaked footage showing Trump fawning over Putin. The state-run international news network Russia Today put out behind-the-scenes video from Alaska that appeared to show President Donald Trump fawning over Vladimir Putin. The video shared by the Kremlin shows Trump and Putin standing together backstage. And let me break down why this was such a win. Quote, it's not hard to see why Putin left Anchorage satisfied. Images of Trump applauding as he walked down the red carpet were beamed back to Russia around the world. Quote, they spent 3 years telling everyone Russia was isolated, and today they saw the beautiful red carpet laid out for the Russian president, said Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova. For now, at least, Putin seems to have reset a relationship with Trump that had been splintering. But on the other side, Trump insisted that progress was made on a number of issues. When he was on the way to Alaska, Trump said to Fox, quote, I won't be happy if Putin doesn't agree to a ceasefire. But afterwards, Trump said he was happy. Quote, I think the meeting was a 10 out of 10, despite there being no concessions, no agreements. So he's going to spin it as a win no matter what. Let's watch this clip of them, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, right after they get off stage. Remember, Russian state media very intentionally released this. They even left the Kremlin.ru watermark on it. There's no audio, but in this video, you see Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and a translator standing backstage talking immediately after the press conference. Vladimir Putin looks awfully short next to the translator. But it's interesting because Trump acted like he was strong, like he was standing up to Putin in any regard. He wasn't. This was one of the weakest displays of incompetence I've seen in my entire life. Look at what Trump then brought back to the Fox News audience. He was literally sitting there, like, just fawning over Putin.
I love seeing this country be great again. And Vladimir said just a little while ago, he said, I've never seen anybody do so much so fast. He said, your country is like hot as a pistol. And a year ago, he thought it was dead. Everybody thought it was dead.
Who thought it was dead? I mean, during COVID, there was...
He literally all Putin did is come and tell him the things that Trump has been bragging about that he wants to hear, right?
Some rockiness, but that was because of you. That was under you. There was post-COVID inflation, but the country wasn't dead. Over the past 2 years, the economy has been recovering rapidly. There's still a lot of wealth inequality, but Biden kept a steady hand. Jerome Powell as well. He kept a steady hand, and he still is, despite Trump putting a lot of political pressure on him. I mean, now the country's dead. Trump had to fire the BLS commissioner and replace it with a new BLS commissioner because he didn't like the job numbers that came out. Donald Trump is tearing down all of our guardrails. The numbers that are coming out are terrible. And when Putin tells him the country was dead a year ago, that is Putin manipulating him. It's kind of scary that we have a president that's so damn easy to manipulate. Watch another clip of him bragging about being manipulated.
Look, you can't run a country that way. You know, Vladimir Putin said something, one of the most interesting things. He said, your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now.
I'm sorry, but this is making me really mad. Russian President Vladimir Putin is telling Donald Trump about how he would have won the election, but it was rigged. He's telling him about election interference, and Trump is eating it up and spitting it out to the American people. This is a huge humiliation. You know what the worst part is? A lot of my friends who don't really follow politics viewed this as a propaganda win. That's why we need to continue to punch back, because there was one clip of Donald Trump and Putin walking on the red carpet and fighter jets fly over. Right-wing media accounts clipped that one clip up and spread it out like wildfire. It was being boosted by bots all over to make it seem like Trump was strong. And now people don't understand that that meeting shouldn't even happen in the first place. If it did, Zelensky should have been there. Zelensky should have dictated the terms, not Putin, not Donald Trump. Putin should not even be spoken to until there is a ceasefire, until there is a cease in the current conflict on Putin's behalf. But, you know, the White House account posted pursuing peace, and I found this uniquely disgusting. How are you going to post a photo of Vladimir Putin and say pursuing peace? Vladimir Putin has no interest in peace, and he's not worth talking to. So I said Putin is actively slaughtering civilians and children. He has invaded Ukraine multiple times. What a despicable post coming from the White House. This doesn't legitimize Putin. It delegitimizes us. Some MAGA friend I used to, go to high school with.
Always.
But I used to go to high school with him. He slid up and he was like, oh, so you're anti-peace? What's wrong with peace? And this is just, it breaks my brain, honestly. I'm not anti-peace. You're going to start to notice something. Under the Trump administration, words that meant one thing begin to lose their definition. So what peace means to this administration is not what peace means to me. I think peace through strength is actually a very, very real concept. But peace through strength is giving Ukraine leverage, like arms and security guarantees, and making sure we have their back with intelligence so that they are on an even playing field with Russia and then can negotiate. When you constantly remove our arms, you constantly remove everything that we're giving Ukraine, like intelligence, it loses them leverage, and then Putin is in a better position and can just wait it out. So Trump has lost them leverage time and time again, and that's not peace. That is taking us farther from peace. That is taking the pro-war position, because appeasement is pro-war. Just if we learn one thing from World War II, it's that appeasing a dictator is essentially the same as being pro-war at the end of the day. And I'll leave it there. If you appreciate these videos and you appreciate what I do, drop a like, subscribe. I will see you all in the next video. And peace out.
Insane, dude. And then I want to watch this video. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw Destiny put out one called Charlie Kirk is Pissed. By the way, damn, what's her name? Candace Owens is trying to sell t-shirts to fund her legal defense. Candace Owens, her husband and her father-in-law are worth $500 million. $480-some million. And she acts like Macron is picking on her. Macron and his wife are worth $11 million. Her husband, and her father-in-law, her husband's dad. Her husband's the most, at $240 million is his net worth. Macron and his wife together are worth 11. And she's trying to pretend like she's being picked on. You have to help us. We're just a small-time channel here, and they're coming after us hard. Her by herself is worth $5 million, right? Even the difference between $5 and $11 million is fucking a fair fight. Why are you selling t-shirts pretending like you can't afford the court case? She brought this on herself for years. She's the only person been running around every time her mouth is open talking about Macron's wife's a man. Selling documentaries on it.
From the Enough America thing, but she is obsessed with me. However, she has more so than most accurately depicted what we've been able to do here, because she does describe us as a builder. Now, this is a former Bernie Sanders type, but to her credit, she has accurately diagnosed.
This is just called Charlie Kirk is Pissed. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it yet.
She is a girl, for the record. I have no reason not to believe it. Jesse was kind of playing with words here.
Their new plan, create a transgender Charlie Kirk.
I think that, as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I believe that what he's doing has worked. And that's why I'm here to replicate what he's doing. I'm not here.
Wow, that's a fucking low blow.
to, disrupt Charlie Kirk's events. I'm here to say that there are alternative ideas and that we need to build the same thing that he has because he is good at it.
Well, we are good at it, and because we build. You see, that's what people miss. People think it's just the campus thing or just this program. This is 2 hours of my day, and then I go to the day job of managing 1,000 people, and we have to raise $100 million a year, and we have 500,000 donors. People say, oh,
Wait, does Turning Point USA really raise $100 million a year? Is that real?
We're good at it, and because we build. You see, that's what people miss. People think it's just the campus thing or just this program. This is 2 hours of my day, and then I go to the...
Jesus.
But I love this. About time that the left realizes and wakes up that while you guys have been ridiculing us, we've been building.
How's it going, my friend?
It's going great. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Did you catch all the Charlie Jesse Waters drama, or were you?
Not yet. I was out of town over the weekend, so I'm still catching up on stuff. What happened?
I don't know if Charlie started it. I think Jesse started. Yeah, Jesse Waters had our CNN thing on, and he basically was like, I don't know if you want to play it, but he basically was like,
That's Z. Cohen Sanchez, who's the head of Unfuck America.
They're trying to find the next trans Charlie Kirk, so I guess they think I'm trans.
Uh-oh, you're getting transvestigated. Oh, no.
I know. And then Charlie, I mean, you know how the fucking right-wing media works. Like within 2 seconds, Charlie had a long tweet about it. All a ton of the MAGA pages on Twitter were saying that I'm trans and that, Charlie got really upset about it. I mean, I guess his tweet was this long tweet about how he's a martyr for the cause and he took 13 years to build this and he slept on couches and all this shit,
Wow, what an actual champion.
Yeah, a real champion for the people. He didn't talk about the fact that his first donor was Foster Freeze, who was a billionaire, but he skipped that part.
Well, how much more? I don't actually know anything about Charlie's background other than the TPUSA stuff. What was he doing before then?
Their 2023 revenue at Turning Point USA was, their full reported revenue for 2023 was $82 million, $81 million in 2022, $56 million in 2021. So they're probably up close to $100 million.
Nothing. He was 18 when he started it. He was doing some I don't know the full story, but from what I've read online, it sounds like he was doing some speaking thing at a school, at either his high school or his community college, because he never actually went to a real college. And I guess Foster Freeze found him and was hey, you're great. And then he started Turning Point USA. I guess he got a $10K check from him to start it, or at least that's what he says. I think it was probably more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, so he never actually had a job. He's been doing this since he was a kid.
Okay. Can you give me 1 minute? I want to watch this clip just so my stream and everybody has context, okay?
Yeah, watch it.
I'm curious.
Jesse Waters also thinks it's gay if you go grocery shopping with your wife, or using a straw.
New plan?
Okay. I hate this Jesse Waters guy, but I hate everybody on Fox News.
Got your leader list. Their new plan? Created transgender Charlie Kirk.
I think that, as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I believe that what he's doing has worked. And that's why I'm here to replicate what he's doing. I'm not here to, disrupt Charlie Kirk's events. I'm here to say that there are alternative ideas and that we need to build the same thing that he has because he is good at it.
Z. Cohen Sanchez has worked more than a decade on Democratic campaigns.
The DNC, they're already trying to coup trans Charlie.
Is the DNC supporting this?
No, not currently.
Why not?
If Ken Martin's watching this, text me back. But really, I think it's disappointing that we haven't been able to see the DNC really get off the ground since the election, because I think a lot of things have happened internally that have been distractions to the actual ground game that we need right now.
Democrats' map's only getting smaller.
Aid on Democratic campaigns. Z. Cohen Sanchez.
I didn't know you could have Cohen as a middle name. I thought it was supposed to be a last name.
No, it is the last name. Because I'm married, so I have a hyphenated last name.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
And I'm too weak.
Wait, okay, I gotta ask, okay? Okay, hold on. I have 2 questions. I have 2 very important questions, okay? Okay. Hyphenated last name. How do you decide which one goes first? Do you and your husband have the same, I'm assuming husband, your partner?
She sent a tweet out that says, so Charlie Kirk says, Democrats, quote, I may disagree with Charlie Kirk, but what he's doing has worked. We need to build the same thing he has because he is good at it, end quote. And then Charlie says, laugh out loud, imitation is the highest form of flattery. What they don't see is the 13 years of grinding. I travel 300 days a year. I give my all, something, and it goes on. Z responds to that and says, I'm sorry to hear about your back being blown out. It's incredible that your organization went from being unknown to being known as the organization where Republican influencers go to get fingered at. I'm proud of you, Charlie Kirk. At Emily Saves the USA, which is the person that apparently was getting fingered at the hotel event for the TPUSA event.
I'm sorry. Do you and your partner have the same like last name, or like one of you Cohen Sanchez and one of you Sanchez Cohen?
No, he's Sanchez. I'm Cohen. So then when we got married, we just hyphenated, but we just put whatever's first, like that sounded good, you know, like Sanchez Cohen sounds fucking weird, you know. So
Okay. First one. Second question is, what are you gonna do if your kid meets somebody with a hyphenated last name? Is it gonna be like 4 names? Have you ever thought about this?
No, they're screwed. But also, like, we didn't do middle names because that's like ridiculous. Like, I've got 2 middle names and 2 last names. It's just stupid. So like, no middle names, and no, you're gonna have to drop that because that's like ridiculous.
Do you worry that there might be some huge drama in terms of picking like which name to keep? Or wait, do you have kids? Am I allowed to ask that, or are you public about that?
Yeah, I've got a 1.5-year-old, and then I'm pregnant with one on the way. But which is hilarious because I was like, maybe I'm the first pregnant trans, or maybe trans women can actually get pregnant.
True, base.
But yeah, no, they're just I don't know. I feel like they could just pick, right? Like,
you have a strong enough opinion that you have a hyphenated last name, which is exceptional, but you don't care at all what your kids choose for a last name. That's not relevant to you. You don't give a fuck.
Here's the thing, right? Like, if like Cohen, well, first of all, I don't have any brothers, right? So like, we have to like carry it on somehow. But then also, it would be weird for me as like a white girl to have the last name Sanchez, right?
No, you would just be married to a Hispanic person or whatever. I imagine, right? That's not that weird, no.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't like seen that a lot, so I didn't want to be like the.
Okay, that's great. Our anti-misogyny queen, I guess, or whatever, right? No race mixing. Okay. As a person whose mom is very white, whose last name is Gonzalez. Okay, my Cuban background. I don't appreciate that racial profiling, but okay. Regardless, sorry. Okay, we're gonna talk about real stuff. Jesse Waters did his thing. I saw Charlie Kirk had some huge fucking tweet afterwards. What is the point of this huge fucking? I made a tweet Charlie Kirk, but what he's doing has worked. We need to build the same thing he has. He's good at imitations, high more flattery. What they don't see is the 13 years of grinding. I travel 300 days a year. I give hundreds of videos.
Dude, it was like, and then I just like commented under it, and I was like, this is like a really long way for you to say that you won't debate Destiny. Like,
Andrew.
To that. But he's just, I don't know. And then he talked about us on his podcast too. So like, you know, he has this like morning podcast, and we were in the opening segment, and he was like, the funny thing was that he did not disagree with anything that we said. Like, he was like, yeah, they're actually like, for the first time, the Democrats might actually be onto something. But then like, he had to attack us because you know how the right wing media is. It's like Jesse Waters says I'm trans, so then Charlie's got to say I'm ugly. But at least Charlie was like, I don't think she's trans. Charlie was like, I do think she's a girl. So maybe they like split on that issue, like, you know, but whatever.
Sure, yeah. They'll also like, they try to use, they'll want to use like, they'll give credit to people that they can to stoke division if they can, right? So like if the movement is existing somewhat, then they would use anything that you do to attack the mainstream Democrats, and that would be like the goal as always. That's how he navigates those things, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like they were all like on point with messaging. But the good thing is like Charlie actually agrees with what we're doing, or at least that's what it sounded like from the podcast clip. Like he was like, they're the first people on the Dem side that have actually seen that are like kind of on the right track. Like that was like the undertone of what he was saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you've watched the episode that he did with Gavin Newsom, right? So he understands and sees the importance of like organizing, especially for school-related stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're off to like a good start there. Yeah, but I don't know. They're gonna just like keep attacking the shit out of us, I'm sure. Like they seem to be super mad with Dottie, the far left and the far right, because I saw all the shit that was going on with Anna and Hassan around this. So
yeah, those people are both unhinged, bro. I cannot.
Yeah, Hassan and Charlie Kirk are supposed to debate somewhere.
Leave Anna
at some point.
I can't believe that Anna and Cenk. Yeah, I don't know. I used to assume that like people were like financially driven. This is one of the things I hate so much. I don't know where you stand on this, but like I think people assume that like moneyed interest and everything drives so much more than they actually do. I feel
at Dartmouth, I think
a lot of it is ideological or personal. Like I think Anna's entire political trajectory can be mapped back to her being bullied over the homeless assault thing, and then the breeding persons. There was a thing that trans people used to advocate, not saying that abortion was like a women's rights issue, but it was like a breeding persons issues. What's the word I'm looking for? Birthing person. Yeah, you're supposed to call them birthing persons. Yeah. And then Anna got assaulted by apparently a homeless guy once, and everybody's like, oh no, like that can't happen. Homeless people are unhoused neighbors. And I defended Anna in both those instances. I think calling abortion not a woman's issue is crazy. And then the defense of like every homeless person, even if they're assaulting people, I think is crazy. But yeah, her mind got so brain broken at that point that she just started like an unyielding bend towards the right, and now she's completely Fox News mimbified. Yeah.
So what, like, I don't understand, like, where is her position right now? Because I remember her being, like, to the left of Cenk, 10 years ago.
Well, now everybody's on this like anti-establishment bend harder than they were before. So I don't know where you're at in terms of political philosophy, but like you have like broadly speaking, you have like liberalism, which would encompass or used to encompass like the Democrats and the Republicans. So there are people that like broadly believe in like the First Amendment and property rights and capitalism and free enterprise and all these things. And then to the left, like illiberal people, you have like socialists who would believe like in the abolition of private property and in much more stricter controls on a lot of stuff like that. The abolition of like a free enterprise capitalist system. And then on the far right, you've got like your kind of authoritarian people who don't care about your First Amendment rights or anything. These are your new anti-establishment types. And so Anna and Cenk have like fallen off to the left, like off of like the liberal axis, and now they're full on anti-establishment, I guess quasi-socialist type people, but they're going to find themselves in a lot of agreement with the weird far right fascist types, or like the people on like Breaking Points or whatever, like Sager and Crystal Ball and everything, and these types of people, yeah.
It's so weird to me because like Cenk is like a multimillionaire, and
Yeah, I'd rather see Destiny and Charlie Kirk. I feel like Charlie Kirk's going to roll over Hassan.
isn't Anna as well? She's like married to like a very like famous baseball player, isn't she? And they do very well.
I mean, all of them will do very well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't understand this whole like shift to this like anti-establishment. I mean, I guess it like obviously like the donors do matter, but I just don't understand this whole like everything is the donor class. Like everything, like when Cenk said that Republicans and Democrats are the same when we were doing our debate, like that shit is insane to me.
Yeah, I think that what the biggest issue with a lot of the donors,
his eyes are getting closer together,
it's for some reason it's inconceivable that you might give money to somebody that you already agree with. I think people put the cart before the horse way too much on a lot of that stuff. Like I think for most people, when they give money to people, it's because they agree with what they're doing. But Cenk has this like completely reversed to where he thinks that donors just like go out into the political environment and just buy off everybody and force them to vote in ways that they want. And because they control everybody the exact same, the Democrats and the Republicans are completely the same. But it's also like unfalsifiable because when you can point to differences between the Democrats and the Republicans, they always have like very convenient outs for it. Like Cenk says like, oh, that's just the pressure release valve. That's the only reason they give us anything is the pressure release valve. It's like, okay, well, so when they're different, it doesn't count. And when they're the same, even though they're not really, it's like that actually does count. Yeah, it's like an unfalsifiable weirdo theory on everything. And then also, and I'm sure you're starting to know this maybe just with your little bit of association with me and if you've worked with other influencers, the amount of money that exists in politics is way, 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 way less than people think it is. When you get over to the influencer world, like in the YouTube world where I'm at and everything, where we get paid insanely ridiculous amounts of money. When you go to the political world, like I'm pretty sure if you're willing to donate $5,000, you can get like a sit-down dinner with almost any senator in the United States of America for $5,000. Like the amount of money is just very, very low in that world compared to other worlds. And people think that there's this massive bias going on. I just don't think that's the case. You know?
No, there's not. And like that stuff all happens through the PACs anyway that aren't coordinating, or at least they're not supposed to be coordinating with the candidates. So it's not. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I come from the electoral world where, first of all, most Democratic candidates don't raise a lot of money, period, right? Like, so there isn't people, like, it's funny because I'll talk to candidates sometimes that are like ultra progressives in like New York City, and they're like, I'm not going to take corporate money. And I'm like, dude, nobody's going to offer it to you. So it doesn't matter. Like, you know, this whole like narrative of the donor class thing is just, I mean, I'm sure that there, you know, when you get up to like Biden's level, yeah, there's going to be like some of that, but yeah, as you said, it's not going to be at the level that people think it is. It's, you know, there's a maxed out donation anyway. So I don't,
the PACs and to candidates, not through the super PACs, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, not through the super PACs, But then the super PACs, that's a whole different like ball game because the staffers there are different, the needs there are different, the asks there are different. So yeah, I don't see like how. I feel like people just don't understand like how this stuff works, and that's why they think that there's this like huge conspiracy.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about today? You came here we were chatting about an event.
Yeah, I just wanted to, because we're going to do the AMA today, so I don't know if your Reddit is very nice to me, so thank you to the folks on your Reddit. Whenever I feel like crap, I go to your Reddit and I'm like, damn, this is cool. So thanks to those people. But yeah, I'm going to do an AMA on the tour. So we're gearing up for AmFest, which is proving to be kind of like a lot more difficult than the Student Action Summit because Phoenix is weirdly like not as friendly to our side. The establishments there, like us trying to book stuff and all that, but we're getting that together, so that's going to be fun. That's December 20th.
Expand on that. When you say the establishment is not, you mean like the Democrats, or do you mean like booking stuff at the Charlie Kirk event thing, or
like the establishments, like the like bars and stuff, like in the area.
Establishments. Okay. Are they like worried about like political violence, or what is like the vibe? I guess.
I think that they just think that they can like make more money from Charlie's people going there. So I think that they're like being, I don't know, because I mean, it is a massive event, right? Like AmFest is, I mean, like 50 times bigger than the Student Action Summit. Like Trump is probably going to be there. They'll have all of the, you know,
America Fest,
like,
of course.
Person you can think of. They're going to do Media Row again. Would love to try to book a debate in there if we can sneak you in a second time.
Yeah. It's going to be, you think it's a lot bigger than the event that even we went to?
Oh yeah. It's like, this is like the Super Bowl for the right. Like this is like everybody who's anybody. Like the Student Action Summit is like, it's like mid-size. Like that's like, but not everybody goes to that. Like the big media people usually aren't at that one. Certainly not Trump and his team and those people. They're usually not there. The elected officials usually aren't there. But with AmFest, yeah, that's like everybody.
Gotcha. It's kind of crazy that they have like conventions for just conservative politics.
Yeah, these are
It's for America.
just like their circle jerk conventions. Like this is like
The same reason that Trump never stopped doing campaign rallies. They like to cheer for their side.
And it's funny because so we should talk about this. This is actually like funny. So I don't know if you've heard about I'm not even gonna say the name of the conference because I don't want to like call them out because sometimes they do good work. But like we have like a very big progressive conference that happens every year, and it just happened this year. Like the one from it was this past weekend. They just had it, and it's funny like comparing like the Student Action Summit and that to like the progressive version of our event because so 2 years ago was the last time I went to this event, and it's a 3-day event typically. So and they have like it's the same sort of deal. Like they have elected officials. They have they don't really have media people because again like we have this weird thing in the Democratic Party where we like can't connect the media to our electoral politics. But they have like a lot of electeds and they have like all the consultants and stuff like that. And the second day of the event, it happened in Chicago. There was like I can't remember who was there. I think it was like Pramila Jayapal. I think maybe Rashida was there. There was a woman named Jan Shawaski, I think her last name is. She's like a Jewish congresswoman in Chicago. Okay. And they were doing like a panel in the morning, like on stage and just like talking about messaging and like where we should go with the party and all that stuff. Anyway, midway through it, these pro-Palestinian folks like disrupted it basically, right? Like they were like throwing stuff, like it was just like a whole scene that was happening. Okay. And the organizers of the event, and this is like a big event, like they have like big donors, like all of this, they stop the event, they take everybody off stage and we're like, okay, it was probably a safety issue, whatever. But it really wasn't because the protesters were like, for the most part, like being like relatively peaceful. And they send everybody an email like 5 minutes later and they're like, hey, we need to stand in solidarity with the movement. So we're going to be canceling the whole event. Okay. And so like Fox News started talking about this, like it was going viral on Twitter. And I'm just like,
this is the thing. I've talked about this on stream before, but somehow the solidarity concept got like warped from like solidarity is supposed to be a whole bunch of different groups can come together and show solidarity around a single issue, but somehow solidarity turned into a whole bunch of different groups need to come together and agree on every single issue. And the Palestine becoming the Palestine thing becoming the calling card for the huge thing on the left. I don't even necessarily mind it if it was just a little bit more pragmatic in that like, you know, we support Palestine and we want to support better rights for Palestinians, so we're going to support like a candidate that's going to do better. But when it becomes just like a massive disincentivizer for all, you know, electoral engagement, it's like, okay, well, I guess fuck this, yeah.
Electorally, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, we could have had that conversation, right? And like, whatever. But I'm like, to cancel you canceled everything, like, and just like, I don't know, that it just like comparing that to like AmFest is just like mind blowing. Yeah. So we're getting ready for AmFest. That's going to be awesome. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to sell out the bar. We'll have tickets available probably like mid next week. And and then we're like raising money for the college tour, which I think, I mean, as far as I know, Charlie's still going to go on. He hasn't dropped his dates yet, but he always goes on his fall campus tour.
You guys are like dono links or whatever for that, or is that set up through like ActBlue or is that set up through your own?
Yeah, everything's through ActBlue, so you could just like go to the website unfuckamericatour.com. You can donate there. If you want to donate to a specific creator, like if you want to donate to Destiny, you just like click on their link and then we give them back 15% of it. So yeah.
Okay. When is the you said in a week and a half you'll be selling tickets for the AmFest thing. When is the AmFest event?
December 20th. Put it on your calendar right now.
Okay, gotcha. We'll do that.
Don't forget. It's like it's going to be a crazy week because, you know, it's like Christmas and everything. I don't know why they do it at that time, but yeah, but it is going to be a big event. It's going to be in Phoenix. So if anybody's like in the Phoenix area or like Vegas surrounding areas, it'll be a good time. We're going to have like a lot of debates going on. We're going to try to make it even bigger than the Tampa event because the Tampa event, we were really like very much experimenting with how it would work. So we want to get like a bigger venue this time. We want to make sure the sound is good because I know a lot of people were like messaging us about the sound issues that we had.
Oh, like for the streaming videos and stuff?
Yeah, because it was tough because like we didn't really know. Like, I mean, the bar said that they had a sound system, right? So we're like, okay.
I'll make sure 100% next time that we're planned out for that. Don't worry, we'll scope it out ahead of time and make sure we're set up a stream.
Yeah, we got to make sure we actually like go in there and like check on the equipment and stuff because we were like trying to get mics at like the last minute. But yeah, I think it'll be fine. It'll be a really good time. And remember that like when you buy a ticket and you're supporting us doing that, and when you buy food at the event, you are contributing to our general fund that will go to getting Democrats registered to vote. It's going to be going towards all of our college campus tours. We also want to start doing like different like Jubilee style debates, like when we're not on campus tours. So it'll also be going towards stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, anything else?
No, I mean, unless you got anything, I appreciate you having me up as always.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Any questions from chat? You said you're doing AMA in the subreddit today.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm catching up on all the news from the weekend, so.
Yeah, I know you probably got a lot to catch up on. When you were gone, I was like, damn, he's gonna be coming back to like a hot mess. So have fun with that. And yeah,
I mean, that's kind of. I feel like that's like every day. I feel like I don't know if you've had this thing. We talked about it at the event or whatever. I just had another debate last night. It feels like everything in the administration is like so comically stupid now. It's like impossible for anybody to even try to defend any of it. Like it's just so. Oh, like this whole DC. I don't know how into DC politics you are, but I have a couple friends who used to work with like the city council and everything. And like, oh my God, trying to federalize all the DC stuff now and usurping the city council and everything. I don't even know. Jesus, yeah.
That's a shit show. That is like, yeah. I'm going to DC tomorrow, and I'm like, kind of like, fuck, this is going to be a
kind of weird. It's interesting though, because I thought Trump didn't have the ability to do anything with DC. That's what I remember hearing on the Gen 6 stuff so much, that he had no authority, that he couldn't send the National Guard in or anything. But it seems like, oh, I guess he always did have that authority. Kind of weird how that works out.
It's crazy how that works out, right?
Yeah. Oh, also, friend of the stream, Ghislaine Maxwell, out on work release apparently. I saw an article this morning on that. I don't know if
friend of the stream.
True or not. It was like from rawstory.com. Do you know if that's true? Is she actually out on work release now? Is that happening?
I don't know, but if she is, like, we're gonna milk the shit out of that. We have to. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I don't know if your viewers like know much about this, and we talked about this in the AMA, but a big part of what we're trying to do is like build out this media infrastructure that like you talk about a lot, because that's a big problem that we're having right now on the left. Is like we don't have any media structure at all to be able to like get our message out when we need to get it out. So like stuff like the Epstein stuff, we could be hitting that so much harder if we actually had the media infrastructure to do it.
Yeah. It'll happen like organically when it's like a super big topic, so like the Epstein stuff kind of, but like the way that conservatives can just force a narrative on literally everything. Like I don't know how much you read or follow on the Russia stuff. Like I read so much in the past on this. Like that recent Russia thing about Obama, that all is just completely and totally fake. Like if you just read the original 23-page release, like the paragraph that they're quoting in the same release, if you read further down, like all of it is discredited. Like the intelligence community said there's no, like this is probably not true. These are literally Russia hoax emails that Fox News is passing off as legitimate. But somehow they've been able to measure that. They're trying so hard to force it. They've been forcing it for like weeks, trying to get it to catch on anywhere else. But they're able to do that because they're just so good at keeping all of it as legitimate. Topics like the Epstein stuff kind of, but like the way that conservatives can just force a narrative.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Like I don't know how much you read or follow on the Russia stuff. Like I read so much in the past on this. Like that recent Russia thing about Obama, that all is just completely and totally fake. Like if you just read the original 23-page release, like the paragraph that they're quoting in the same release, if you read further down, like all of it is discredited. Like the intelligence community says, no, like this is probably not true. These are literally Russia hoax emails that Fox News is passing off as legitimate. But somehow they've been able to measure that. They're trying so hard to force it. They've been forcing it for like weeks, trying to get it to catch on anywhere else. But they're able to do that because they're just so good at keeping all of their people in line.
It's like within seconds. It's just, and I didn't really like believe that until this whole trans thing happened, and like within like seconds, like my feed was just like filled with it, like all the way down to like micro influencers. You know, it's
they all have it. Yeah. Oh, the Sydney Sweeney stuff is a good example too of them being able to pick somebody on the left. I don't know anybody. Like I point this out to people when I argue with people where they're like, oh, like what about this guy who's mad about this thing on the left? And it's like, why do you even know about this? It's just because somebody on the right decided to spotlight them. And then you get into this like purity testing spiral where people are like, we got to act better on our side. And it's like, I agree to some extent, but like you're never going to be able to pass the threshold where Donald Trump has an excuse for every single thing he says, but then every single person ostensibly on the left, from media to social media to everything else, has to be perfect, or else like they're gonna get spotlit by some conservative lunatic and made as like the representative for our whole side. I haven't met any left-leaning person that gives a fuck about the Sydney Sweeney stuff or whatever, the Sydney, whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah.
I haven't like that. Yeah, that's like also the weird thing, because they picked like these like 3 TikTokers on the fringe left that were like, oh, this is Nazi propaganda. And now apparently that's like the message of the Democratic Party. I mean, even with our stuff, right? Like the segment on Fox News was the Democratic Party is in disarray, when clearly in that interview we said that this is not attached to the Democratic Party at all. So they just fucking take anything and they just run with it. It's like anything we say is the whole Democratic Party now, I guess.
Yeah. As long as they can weaponize it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was good to be up here, my friend. And I'll be doing the AMA for like an hour or two. So if anybody has questions about the tour, I don't know if anybody's still interested in the drama, but we can talk about that on the AMA or whatever.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll see you around. Be careful.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye. I don't know how true that is yet. Like I saw there was some raw story thing. Someone in chat just said she was like authorized for work release, but she hasn't had work release yet. Here's her level and custody summary. Custody out. What stands out here is the custody level out, which allows her to leave the minimum security campus for work assignments, much like Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to leave prison, despite what dearly got for Alex Acosta. It was a Substack poster. I reviewed an electronic file that includes some of the information Senator Whitehouse is demanding from the Bureau of Prisons. Huh. Okay. Maybe it's not relevant then. Like maybe they're always coded as out, but maybe there's something else that keeps them from leaving. I don't know. I'm trying to be charitable, but.
It's a mess, chat. I don't know what to tell you. All right, I got some more stuff. Let's see. Let me update this. Give me just a second. Yeah, it's all crazy. Even it's all bullshit. Even the newest emails that that Tulsi Gabbard just released was like, the guy said, "Hey, we need to see some more of this underlying evidence." The guy's name is Mike Rogers. He emails James Clapper and it's like, "Hey, we need to see some more of this underlying evidence. We're going to sign off on this paper. You know, I feel like I understand that we're on a short time crunch, but you know that's also leading to." We want to make sure everything's right, and I know you want to make sure everything's right too. And Clapper responds back like, "Yeah, we definitely want to all be on the same page. We're all going to stand together behind this, and all sign off on it. We'll be as transparent as we possibly can between interagencies. But this is going to be our group project of this. This is our story, and we're sticking to it. So we need to get it done. But one thing that we can't do is give more time. Like this has to be done before the next administration enters the White House because they were wrapped up in it, kind of deal. Because we're on such a compressed schedule. We're doing this as a team sport. That's it. That's literally it. That's their big smoking gun that Tulsi Gabbard released. Like I don't understand it. It's like they always claim they have this. It's a distraction, right? Anytime you mention that Obama and treason, then the Trump fucking dick lickers are going to come fucking screeching from nowhere. I knew he was a Muslim. I knew it all along.
Before I begin this video, I'd like to say something quite clearly. I don't know whether or not the rumors about Joseph Redden, also known as the older millennial here on TikTok, are true. I'm just going off what I read on the internet here in the comments. But allegedly, the older millennial engaged in an intimate relationship with a corrections officer with the Florida Department of Corrections. Just coincidentally, I was also developing a game at the same time where a corrections officer feeds bananas to an inmate in a cage behind bars, and the inmate just happens to be named Joe, and you can now find it at josephredden.com. And is this a crazy coincidence or what? I mean, it's just one of those things. I can't believe I was lucky enough to be making a computer game that almost exactly describes some of the comments that I've read, which once again, I don't know whether or not these things are true. I just read them on the internet, so I'm assuming they're true, which is also the standard for journalistic integrity that the older millennial holds. So
it would be so weird if we could just put his name into Google and pop up with multiple examples of him lying.
I'm sure he won't have a problem if you go to josephredden.com and read through the narrative for the game, the inspiration behind it, and then the gameplay, which once again is, in my opinion, because I did make it, pretty advanced. I was happy with the code I wrote. It's pure vanilla JavaScript with some HTML and CSS. It's all done in Canvas with a little mod HUD and really a classic pixel sprite game. Really proud of myself. So, did Joseph Redden, also known as the older millennial, hit that glug glug 9000? Oh, so did Joseph Redden, the older millennial, really try to tame the invasive Florida python?
Yeah, that guy was a veteran, a former Marine. And he killed 2 women and a man, I think, in Spain. The man was just misidentified as his wife's lover. It's a whole story.
The world may never know. Here's a fun piece of trivia you probably didn't know about the older millennial. His real legal name is Joseph Redden. Huh. I wonder who owns that domain. Interesting question, he asks himself. Oh, wait. I own that domain. josephredden.com. And on josephredden.com, I have the older millennial drinking game. Oh, that's so awkward.
Yeah, there's a post that kind of went viral. It's like, man, I hope Bill Clinton's not in the Epstein files. Then I'll have to sell my Bill Clinton watch, my Bill Clinton hat, my Bill Clinton T-shirt, my Bill Clinton memorabilia, my Bill Clinton gold-plated dollars, my Bill Clinton insurance fund, my Bill Clinton Bible, yeah, obviously. No one gives a fuck. Throw them away.
You all right?
Throw them in prison and lose the key.
DUI simulation game that I made. You know, a couple months back, this man was like, I'm going to call out Shane Morris. How'd that work out for you, champ? How'd that work out for you? You stupid motherfucker.
Got him. So he's got a DUI simulator game and a game where you're like, I'll show it to you. Hold on. Where you're behind prison bars. Joe gobbled a guard. Play the game inspired by Joseph, the older millennial Redden's experience in the Florida Department of Corrections. After running from the police and then urinating all over himself during his arrest, Joseph, the older millennial Redden, was transported to county lockup where he met a corrections officer who made him an offer. Gobble that hog and I'll let you have some commissary money. So Joseph Redden did what he had to do. He sucked until his lips were chapped and then he sucked some more. And then there's a game to play where you got to catch these hogs. And it says little things like, suck it dry. Oh, you got me so good. Damn, I can't catch none of them. It's like a time limit. Oh. And then the drunk driving simulator. I think this one's just driving. But the every time you pass around, every time you get through a round, he drinks another beer and it's harder to control. So it takes a long time. But let me get through a round so I can at least show you that part. Like, see how the car's not moving, the yellow car, unless I move it? Right now, if I sit still, as you consume beers, it starts swerving on its own, which is pretty funny. All right, round 2 complete. You drank a beer. Difficulty increased. Impairment worsened. Steering and reaction. Reminder, do not drink and drive. Use a ride share or sober. And remember, don't pee on yourself if the cops catch you. I guess it ran off. Tap start or press enter for the next round. Round 2. See how it's just barely moving on its own right now when I'm sitting still? It keeps getting worse. So hold on. Let's see if we can get through another round. I think I made it to round like 6 or 7 before it was actually pretty noticeable that it was swerving in both lanes. Yeah, I'm a GWAT veteran. I got out in 2013. Went to the National Guard. So see how it's kind of moving on its own when I stop? See how it rocks back and forth? That just keeps getting worse. The accelerating and braking actually doesn't work on it. I guess it's still a work in progress, but you just basically like dodge and target. You guys remember when I made that game for Phil where like shit was coming after him and you had to munch it up? Now it's really starting to sway on its own a little bit. It keeps getting worse. I want to get it to where it's like literally swerving on its own. It'll take a second though. This guy that they're making fun of is the type of guy that always, every time there's like a person of color getting the shit beat out of him by fucking police, he's like, all you have to do is comply or don't commit crimes. If you don't commit crimes, then you don't have to deal with the police kind of deal, right? But he had a warrant out for himself for fucking weeks. It also, the car moves slower every beer you have, but left and right. But he had a warrant out on him for weeks and refused to turn himself in. Then the police finally found him. He left his house and was living in an Airbnb, trying to not get arrested while denying it even existed. They found his Airbnb online, reported him to the police. They showed up to arrest him. He tried to run from the police in his backyard drunk. They tased him. He pissed all over himself. And the whole time he's going, I'm sorry, I'm peeing. I'm sorry, I'm peeing. I'm sorry, I'm urinating myself, just over and over again. Apologize, bootlicking even more. It's wild. All right, see how bad it drifts now and how slow the car moves when I'm doing input? It's not speeding around, but it drifts left to right. I'm not touching anything right now, and it's just drifting lanes. I'm sure eventually it gets really, really bad. And obviously, nothing's a blanket thing. Like, sometimes we watch police videos here, and I'm like, well, you shouldn't have fucking done that, dude. You shouldn't have spit in that cop's face. You shouldn't have fucking tried to kill somebody with your fucking car. You shouldn't be drunk driving. But there's other times where you're like, if that was a fucking white person, this would not be happening. There's no goddamn way. If that person looked like you, this wouldn't be happening. Beating the fuck out of somebody when they're handcuffed or fucking killing somebody, right? Kneeling on their neck until they fucking die. Just crazy shit. Cops are clearly a problem on power trips a lot of the times. Let's see how bad it's drifting now. It's pretty bad. I haven't even touched the button yet, and I'm already drifting to the right. It also moves a lot slow. Yeah, I couldn't get back in time. I should have kept going the way I was. Cops and cyclists, that's right. All right, so that's the simulators he made on josephredden.com. Older millennial has yet to respond, except for calling him. He come out with this video where he's like, "You're a heroin addict," and he makes some claims that don't even have basis in reality, and then other things like out of context kind of makes claims about Shane Morris. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like the heroin addict, there's not even rumors online that he does heroin. I don't even know where the fuck he got that. Shane says he's never even tried heroin. Like, he even hates pain pills, which seems crazy. I love pain pills, but he hates them either way. All right, and then we got older millennial. We'll roll right into this older millennial correction, of course.
Most states in this country are gerrymandered to fuck. They're meant to get.
So he's basically saying like, oh, well, Democrats are now trying to raise hell about Texas gerrymander. Every state's gerrymander. This is they're just making this an issue because they're not in charge and blah, blah, blah. It's not, that's not the issue, right? The issue is, yes, it's already gerrymandered, but they just did it. And they're not scheduled to do it for another 10 years. But because Trump is afraid he's going to lose midterms, he told them to do it early, which is unprecedented. They do it every 10 years when the census comes out. And most states are not gerrymandered. Most states have laws against gerrymandering.
Give the maximum amount of votes to the maximum amount of Democrats.
Yeah, the original oxys. The last time I got an oxy, dude, I had not been doing them for a while. And the guy's like, and I was like, I thought you couldn't like fucking crush them and like snort them anymore. And he's like, oh yeah, you can. What you do is you take it and you use like a hose clamp to like shave it down, and then you put it in the microwave for like a minute, and then take it out, and then put 1 drop of water on it and put it in the microwave. They made them like they were fucking plastic, and then at-home scientists were trying to figure out how to get the plastic out of them. This shit was crazy.
And minimize the amount of Republicans you put in office.
Joey, walk with me again, and I gotta tell you, bud, as someone the same age as you, roughly, you really have got to get something different than a Nokia 6100. Get a phone with internet access, because if you did, then you would know that Princeton actually did a study on this and keep tabs on gerrymandering, and they could tell you that no, most states don't gerrymander, and no, it's not the Democrats who are the ones you need to worry about. Let's take a look. Here are the Democratic states that are ranked poorly for gerrymandering. Illinois, as you mentioned, agreed. Wisconsin, Nevada, Oregon, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you New Mexico. It's a purple state, but all right, we'll give it to you. That's a total of 38 congressional seats in the House, okay? Now, let's take a look at Republican states ranked poorly for gerrymandering. You've got Texas, Ohio, North Carolina, South Carolina.
If the left was doing gerrymandering the way that everybody claims, the right that claims they are, California would have no Republicans ever.
Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Kansas, and Utah. Texas alone.
Yeah, to keep people from abusing them, man, they made them like plastic pellets. You couldn't even crush one because everybody was snorting them. And some people were busting them and like shooting them up, right? Throw water on them and draw them up in a needle through a cigarette filter. But you couldn't even crush them. It was like a plastic pellet. It was crazy.
Alone has North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Kansas, and Utah. Texas alone has 38 congressional seats. That would equal all of the Democratic states put together that are ranked poorly for gerrymandering. If you added up all of the actual seats for all of those states I just mentioned, it would be 139. So no.
So the way Princeton ranked them, if they were bad for gerrymandering, if you took all the Democrat states, it's 38 seats. If you took all the GOP states, it's 139 seats. They gerrymandered
across all states, but in the states that it is a problem for, the Republican states basically are at a 4-to-1 advantage on gerrymandering. So, yeah, I know. Facts are a bitch. Cheers.
I don't know who this is, but I'm going to follow him. And that's where Older Millennial stands. What is this?
Gavin Newsom has been getting even more unhinged, or more accurately, his press office. The posts have evolved, okay? Some might say escalated. If you missed my post on this a couple of days ago, Gavin Newsom's office has been teasing Trump, let's say. Credit where credit is due. I'm pretty sure that this is the work of either a millennial or an older Gen Z, and I think that there's a pretty big lesson to be learned from this for Dems in general, but let's go through some of this. It's very funny. I'm gonna pick up where I left off. So DeSantis basically said California is gerrymandered and claims that their independent commission is actually a ruse. Newsom's office, in response, called him the thirst queen and said, we will not be lectured on democracy.
The thirst queen.
By someone who lost to a cartoon mouse with gloves. While some of them are still very clearly mimicking Trump, others are taking a different route, and others still...
Ohio has a D for Congress and an F for Senate.
Includes elements of Trump speak, but aren't in all caps and like not nearly as obvious, but it's still there. This is also interspersed with normal sounding tweets. They called Stephen Miller Voldemort and asked people to take the best guess on why he only eats mayonnaise, promising to retweet top replies, which they did. This one's more obvious. When Speaker
only eats mayonnaise.
Little Man Johnson is standing in the unemployment line, he can thank Donald Taco J. Trump. Trump missed a simple deadline, something he has often done with his many failed businesses. Now California will fire him with new, more beautiful maps. Highly anticipated, historic press conference with your favorite governor, Gavin Christopher Newsom. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GCN. There's a bunch of more subtle mimicking ones, and I'm gonna have to skip some for time, but they have random capitalized words, multiple exclamation points or question marks, usually retweeting and responding to tweets coming from the right, so that's important because it's very clearly mocking them. Another obvious one, huge historic event, Thursday, 11:30 Pacific in Los Angeles, a beautiful rally, press conference with Gavin Christopher Newsom and strong Dems. Democrats will destroy Greg Abbott's totally rigged maps. Tremendous work is being done. Donald Trump, the criminal president, get ready for the most beautiful payback you've ever seen. Could be the worst day of your life as your presidency ends. Dems retake Congress. America will be liberated. Liberation Day. Many are calling it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now they're co-opting Liberation Day. There's another escalation. They've taken to calling KK Caroline Carolying Levitt 24 hours later, and Caroline...
New Jersey got an A across the board, yes.
She promised to send. These people are liars. Wow, tomorrow's history will be made. Kara Lyon, leave it, will have no answers for the supposed fake media about California's beautiful maps. People are saying they are the greatest maps ever created, even better than Christopher Columbus. Donald, the failure Trump, be warned. Tomorrow may be the worst day of your life, all because you, quote, missed the deadline. Liberation Day for America. Liberation Day is tomorrow. As many know, Donald Taco Trump, author of The Art of the Deal, a book he should return to the library, just missed the best deal in history. He always chickens out. Tariffs, China, but even a chicken should know a good deal when he sees one. Your favorite governor, Gavin Christopher Newsom, offered the best, most amazing deal in history. Stop rigging Texas maps and California won't make ours more beautiful. Sadly, but no surprise, Donald was too weak. Little hands to even write me back. No deal. And no deal equals perfect. Beautiful maps that will end his presidency. Soon he will not be 47. Patriots will take back Congress. Many say I should run for speaker. I won't. Make the maps great again. Liberation Day tomorrow. This one.
Miller's wife exposed the mayonnaise story. What?
Confess it. That's it. Make the maps great again. Big, beautiful rally today. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Some general poking. Inflation is...
His favorite condiment is mayonnaise. That makes sense. It's the only thing my husband eats, Katie Miller said about her husband's favorite condiment. Immigration hardliner Stephen Miller's wife has revealed his favorite condiment. While it may be bland, the online reaction has been spicy. Miller's wife, Katie, a former communications strategist for politicians who recently had a brief stint working for tech billionaire Elon Musk at the Department of Government Efficiency, has started a podcast for conservative women. Vice President J.D. Vance was her first guest in an episode released Tuesday. During the episode, Katie asked Vance some personal questions, including what he likes to dip his French fries into. If you could only eat one condiment for the rest of your life, what would it be? She asked the vice president. Vance went with barbecue sauce. Katie then probed, not mayonnaise? Vance replied, no, mayonnaise in low doses is good, but it's kind of like, I had a buddy who used to eat French fries with mayonnaise. I thought that was disgusting. Katie then revealed, it's the only thing my husband eats. With French fries or like, period? Vance asked. Period. Katie responded. He only eats with like French fries or period? Period. He just eats handfuls of mayonnaise. The office of California Governor Gavin Newsom, who has criticized the Trump administration for its mass migrant deportation efforts, shared a clip on X of Katie Vance's discussing the love the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy has for mayo. Anyone want to guess why Voldemort Stephen Miller does this? Newsom's office said, referring to the villain in the Harry Potter series, hashtag Mayo Miller. If they use spice, we send in ice. Patriot takes on X account. An X account that monitors right-wing extremism commented. One X user wrote, mayo is a perfect food for him. No color, no flavor, and it keeps the best in cold, airtight containers. Because it's white. He's such a blatant racist, he probably doesn't even eat brown mustard, another posted. The Independent has reached out to the White House for comment. No response.
Is up again, but Trump said he'd get rid of it on day one. In this one, they retweeted Stephen Miller's tweet and just changed it all to alternating caps and lowercase. That's it.
The Smithsonian is supposed to be a global symbol of American strength, culture, and prestige, a place for families and children to celebrate American history and greatness. Instead, the exhibits have clearly been taken over by left-wing activists who have used the Smithsonian as yet one platform to endlessly bash America and erase our magnificent story. These activists have obscenely defaced this beloved institution. The Trump administration will proudly and diligently restore the patriotic glory of America, and the Smithsonian is a place that something love and devotion.
Importantly, every sort of mocking tweet is also fact-checking. So in this one, they take a Stephen Chung tweet where he claims that Gavin Newsom didn't answer questions after his presser and put it next to a video posted of him answering questions after the presser. Stephen Chung, incompetent Trump staffer, doesn't know how to use his computer. Sad. There's a lot more, including a lot of
So they're tweeting out in Trump style.
jabs about tiny hands, but I'm not going to read them all unless you want me to. And again, they're sharing clips from the presser, the important information that they want to share. But while these may not seem like they're obviously mocking Trump, they're still written to sound like him. Lots of sort of simple but grandiose statements and exclamation points. All this to say, not only is this fun for both them and us, they have landed, I believe, on an important strategy. And I think Dems absolutely need to take a page out of this book. No, we don't need everyone sounding and tweeting like Donald Trump, please. But one thing that Dems always refuse to hear is that they need to meet the moment. And while this isn't the best part of the moment to meet, it is an important one because Dems are terrible with messaging. And for some reason, they still haven't figured out that we are in an era of this, unfortunately. But in a much broader sense, Dems have always been accused of being incapable of dumbing things down or simplifying. But messaging is actually like 90% just holding on to attention. And as soon as you bore someone, they're going to swipe away. And it's not just because attention spans are short, though that is worsening things. It's also because people are overworked, overtired. They don't have enough free time nor brain space to focus on anything that doesn't do anything for them right now, nor entertain them. And even if they did, you are now competing in an arena that is filled to the brim with things that do one.
Yeah, you've got to get people's attention.
Two things. The internet, the apps, the tech companies have hijacked our dopamine. Rage baiting, for example, works because it creates those surges that you want. And Dems have yet to meet that moment.
I'm so I saw you. So I'm in Northeast Tennessee, just barely outside of North Carolina. We got fucked by Helene. Like basically, if you leave Asheville on 26, I'm like the first city in Tennessee.
While Republicans are fully immersed in it. And as an added bonus, these sort of antics are exactly the sort of thing that many people see and go, oh, that person is fighting for me. Even though it's just creating online drama and tea. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but this is exactly how Donald Trump convinced people that he was out there fighting for them. Donald Trump, okay? That guy has never done anything for anyone that wasn't primarily himself. But there are smart ways of going about it, like this. Yeah, it's immature, but it's entertaining and people like it. They're paying attention. But they're not just making fun of the right, they're using every jab as an opportunity to correct the record and inform the public in simple and easy to understand ways. You can spread your
so getting people's attention, being funny, and correcting the record.
Message and accurate information in much simpler and attention-grabbing ways. Is it ridiculous that we have to do that? Yeah, I genuinely believe that we need more of this. Maybe not this exactly, but more approaches that are understanding the arena and moment that we're in.
Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about gerrymandering, okay? This is Tennessee's District 3. House District 3. Why the fuck would a district ever look like this? Right, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But if you look at let's say here is District 8. I think District 8 is the right one. If you look at District 8, this makes sense. Okay, this is our border over here, so that's why it looks so crazy on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, yeah, they've cut out for some towns or whatever, but it's mostly just a square block of Tennessee, right? This kind of makes sense. Somebody could argue like, hey, we were just trying to get the an amount of people in there. When you make something like this, it's to win elections. Like, what the fuck is this? Oh, you didn't want Knoxville in it. Oh, you didn't want Maryville in it. Oh, you didn't want Chattanooga in it. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. This sort of makes sense, right? Like, we want this block to be, 1 million people or whatever, right? And we got that. This does not make sense. This means that we don't want any blue votes from these major cities. So we're going to avoid them like crazy, gather as much rural area as we can, and move from there. The only part that's missing in this one is all this Memphis area down here. They cut out Memphis to give them one blue district. Basically, that's District 9. That's the only thing that's missing. This right here where my cursor is, this is all the Memphis area, and it's the only blue area in the state. Yeah. But that's gerrymandering, right? Carving out and cutting out and moving people out to make it more Republican. And it only hurts us. Okay? It only hurts us. Not because I want to be left or I want to be right. These people get these jobs based on these districts. Then they make it harder for anybody to ever challenge them. Whether from the left or from their own party. They are making their seat more secure, so when they don't do stuff for you, it doesn't matter. They're still going to win the vote. Whether you're Republican or not, it doesn't matter. They are getting the most votes of their people. And then when they break a promise or they stay in too long or you're tired of them or a scandal comes out, they still fucking win because they've carved out all the people that they think will vote for them no matter what. There you go. Here's the entire state of Tennessee, so you can see what I was talking about with Memphis. Memphis is this only area over here at District 9, but this is the District 8 I was showing you. This is District 7. Pretty wild looking. District 5, which includes like just south of Nashville and down. District 4, District 6 up here. I'm trying to keep the marker out of your way. District 3, the one that I was showing you that's almost cut in half. District 2, which includes Knoxville, which has, it's a major city, so it has a lot of left-leaning people and a vote, but they've cut out any chance that they can combine with like Maryville or Chattanooga or, anything like that, obviously. So it cuts their vote share in half. So they cannot be competitive with Republicans there. And then District 1 is where I live. 78% Republican vote share, 20%, 21% Democrat vote share. And it's 2.2% of the map.
The _satanic_mechanic just resubscribed for 3 months.
Thank you for the resubscription for 3 months. I appreciate it. Wild. Let's see. I want to see. Somebody's got a video. Candace Owens begging for money.
And this lawsuit, we got an estimate this weekend from a legal team. It is going to cost us.
I'll show North Carolina in just a second. I have to pull it up.
Money. I really don't. If they don't drop this at some point, blah, 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 here's how much it's going to cost you just to get through the deposition phase. How much it's going to cost you to go all the way through. And they are estimating $5 million. It's like a lot of money. And we do not have that money just laying around.
Yes, they do. Her husband's worth $240 million. She's worth $5 million.
So I thought we could.
Jesus Christ. Candace Owens' husband's real estate portfolio is $19.5 million for the London mansion with 12 bedrooms, 10 additional properties in the UK, France, Morocco, Belgium, Germany. Her husband's very, very rich, and his father's rich. Not as rich as his son. Like his father's like worth like 211. He's worth 240. She's worth 5. That's a $500 million.
So I thought we could actually sell some t-shirts. I just picture people wearing this like at the grocery store, like walking by each other, and like we know what it means, like hashtag free Emmanuel. It's like subtle enough. I really like this, free Emmanuel. You're going to see somebody wearing a t-shirt and be like, we know what's up. We know what's going on in France. Somebody rest.
They should win a defamation lawsuit. She absolutely is not a man. Their story is scandalous enough. You don't have to make up anything. She was his teacher and is like 30 years his fucking senior or 40 years his senior. She was his teacher. They started seeing each other. She was married. They started seeing each other. His parents caught wind of it, sent him to a different fucking school for a few years to get him away so he wasn't like caught up in this controversy sleeping with his teacher. He still comes back to be with her. She leaves her husband there to get like, the story is scandalous enough. She's obviously not a man.
Emmanuel Macron. I'm not kidding. The estimate is millions of dollars. And this lawsuit, we got an estimate.
You fuck around and find out.
This lawsuit, we got an estimate this weekend from a legal team. It is going to cost us millions. I don't have that money. I really don't. So I thought
That's the leopards eat your face, lady.
some t-shirts. If you guys are watching this series and enjoying it and you want to support this lawsuit, they are estimating $5 million. That's a lot of money. And we do not have the money just laying around, which is crazy. This is a full-fledged attack that isn't based on any fact. No
I don't even know if they have a property. Like well, I guess they could, undeveloped property. I don't know if they have a house that's worth less than $5 million.
reason, no evidence. Why isn't Donald Trump and JD Vance swooping in to say that this is insane?
I'm feeling vindicated. Someone I've always hated is finally getting their just desserts. Better late than never always works. I'm feeling vindicated. Everybody, I'm feeling vindicated. Someone I've always hated is finally getting their just desserts. Better late than never always works. I'm
That's not bad.
vindicated.
Why is Donald Trump or JD Vance not swooping in to say this is crazy? Why would they? Donald Trump sues everybody that talks about him. Right? He sues media conglomerates that are trying to get their deals confirmed by him, their mergers. He sues news agencies that air footage and claim that it was edited. He sues pollsters who come out with polls that don't work. Why would Donald Trump be against this? Here's North Carolina, by the way. District 11, District 14, 5. That's a wild look. 110 with a shelf on top of it. District 6, there's one blue district down here, District 12. That is basically just Charlotte. District 8 and 7. District 3, which is a wild one. It's basically cut in half too, like that one I showed you from Tennessee. Then we have District 1, which is not a heavily blue district, but a blue district. We're Rocky Mount, Wilson. A lot of the coast, well, some of the coast over here. It looks like they cut out some of the coast. Goldsboro, Kinston, Snow Hill. You have Raleigh basically by itself, and then Durham, Chapel Hill by itself. District 13, that's District 2 and District 4. District 13 is cut in half. Right? It is cut in half right there. But they don't want these blue votes that might come out of Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill diluting any of their solid red votes over here, right? So that's why they do this shit. Or this one where they grab this big gigantic area because it was red. District 9. I don't know. It's just insane. The way they draw the shit and then secure their seats for life. This is the one that everybody's concerned about, is redoing Texas. They'll do anything. Look how they encircle a city because it's full of blue votes, right? Any big city, Austin, right? San Antonio, any big city, they encircle it, give them that city, but then everybody else, they're like, fuck it, you're not getting any of our red votes over Dallas, Fort Worth. Because that's if they let this area be part of this area, District 30 be part of District 6, it would dilute the votes and make them actually have to run a campaign and win. Here's what we should do. You should take a state, let's say Texas, and let's say it's 60% Republican and 40% Democrat. Then 60% of their representatives should be Republican and 40% should be Democrat. And in 10 years, when the fucking census come out and things have changed and numbers have changed, we'll do it again. Now they're 70% Republican and 30% Democrat. Fine. 70% of representatives are Republican, 30% are Democrat. This crazy drawing lines and shit just to secure your... And it's not like they didn't win. They already won these seats, right? But they don't want to ever have a chance of ever losing that seat or flipping the seat. That's why it's so rare for a lot of these areas to get flipped. They make it to where it's damn near impossible. And not to mention, this is due in 5 more years. They've always done it with a census every 10 years. The Republicans did it last. The Republicans redrew the lines last, okay? In 2020. Trump in 2025 is afraid he's going to lose the midterms. He's like, you guys got to redraw it. You know, we need to fix that. So now they're blaming the Democrats for doing it. But the Republicans were in control the last time they did it. In 2020, the Republicans did it. 2025, they blamed the Democrats, said they need to redo it, even though it's not supposed to be done until 2030. So, there you go, guys. I'm out for the night. It's 1:30 at the house. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. If you want to support the show, you can do it at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. That's this website here, where you can buy a 6-pack. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We'll talk about some more news and social issues for what the fuck ever. Seems like the world's falling apart. We'll get through it. I'm still not convinced that I didn't die in 2020, and you guys are just my own personal hell. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. We'll see you about the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Balls. You don't have balls.
I stream about every night if you ever want somewhere to hang out. Talk about how crazy the world is right now.
It's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
That website I was using was called, it's gerrymander.princeton.edu. It's Princeton did a study on it, and they publish these results, and they keep them updated.
Listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like Thor in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped him to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump.
Good night, guys.